We are registered at hundreds of websites. We are instructed to have safe passwords everywhere and especially unique, but how do you actually manage to remember all that? Hi, I'm Chris, and today I want to talk about an app called 1Password, which is there to solve exactly that problem because I don't have the memory capacity to remember all those passwords. Over the years, the approach changed. In the beginning, it was have long, unique passwords, then it was have a sentence, then have a variation for each service. But in the end, one thing did it for me, and that was 1Password as a storage of passwords, credit card information, and other secret notes. This program is not free, but it's definitely something that is absolutely valuable, and I would not want to miss it anymore. One thing this storage solution does very well is synchronize the data between your iPhone, Android, and your Mac or Windows machine. By now, they also have a web interface, which changed because I'm using the old version that has a local installation on your phone, local installation on your Mac, and then synchronizes via Dropbox or iCloud. Now they also have this web interface solution, which gives you access from any computer, and that way you have more options to access your passwords. The great thing about 1Password for me is that it is a company that is pretty much focused on design, security, and delivering a great product over the years. I personally bought my license to 1Password in 2013, and I'm still very happy with the product they deliver. There are many features and integrations they offer. For example, there are extensions for Chrome, Firefox, and Safari to integrate 1Password into your browser. This actually gives you the option to access those passwords in every browser, so you don't have to store them in every browser's keychain. Also, the app offers to store your password whenever you register at a new service. But the main thing I really like is the password generator, which you have also access to from this extension, so you can just generate a new password whenever you register at a new service. And I really like that because by now I pretty much only remember the password for 3 or 4 services, and all the others are dependent on 1Password. But the 3-4 I remember are actually the ones that will help me to get my passwords back once I actually lose access to my 1Password keychain, which I'm pretty sure will probably never happen because I have the backups in multiple places. I have it on the phone, I have it on the Mac, and I have stored the backups of my 1Password keychain, for example, on Cloud Drive or Google Drive in an encrypted container. In terms of sorting, 1Password also offers many capabilities. For example, you can add tags to passwords or your notes, so you can sort them to keep track of family or work-related passwords. But it's actually not just passwords that you can store in there. I use it also for license keys for software or for secure notes that I don't want anybody else to have access to. Also, you can store your credit card information or bank account information in there. But as you might notice, there is a lot of information stored in this one app, so it's very important to keep the whole package in 1Password encrypted very well, and especially have a very strong master key. But one thing that I am less worried about is the security of 1Password, because the team behind 1Password actually published a couple of papers over the last years that describe the security they have implemented, and as far as I know, they are pretty much leading edge in terms of security there. Also in 2016 and maybe already in 2015, they started to implement synchronized versions for families and teams. And those I think are incredibly valuable if you want to share login information. This team and family features actually give you the option to share passwords or notes between team members or family members. That way you don't have to give those passwords on paper or in an email or something like that. You can actually save them in an encrypted manner. And one of the best additions to this app I found in the last year is that you actually have the 2-factor authentication code generators in 1Password. And that way you can use 2-factor authentication with more services, especially if you're traveling a lot and you have that problem that you normally don't have your standard SIM card in your phone, so you don't really want to get any SMS, but you still want to use the 2-factor authentication. This way you don't have to have 2 apps on your phone, you can just have one app that stores the password and the code generator, and that way you can log into Google or Facebook with 2-factor authentication, which makes the whole login process much safer. But you have to keep in mind, if you use 1Password for code generation and password storage, that if someone has access to your 1Password, they actually have access to anything they want, because that essentially means that the whole 2-factor authentication is more a 1-factor authentication if password and key are stored in the same application. Maybe it's not important for you, maybe it's more about the convenience. I still believe that the 1Password encryption is very, very good, and sometimes I trust this, but it's just something you have to keep in mind. Overall, I think that the passwords I'm using are way more secure since using 1Password, and also there was at least one case over the last years where 1Password actually warned us that there were services that got compromised. So they actually had a warning in the 1Password app of the services and the websites I'm registered to and that got compromised, and they actually suggested me to change my passwords there. And of course you can then use the code generator to have a new password generated and just update the password stored with the service. So that way I already knew which services I had to change my passwords with, and then I did that and it was all fine. But overall, they really care about your security and the passwords you store there. So I wanted to make the suggestion for you to also check out 1Password. I think it's a great way to keep the data out of your mind. 1Password is not the only solution out there, but over the last years, I've only been using 1Password, so that's the suggestion I have for you. Now, I hope this video will help you keep your data more secure, the passwords out of your brain, and the logins more organized. Now, please let me know in the comments below if you're using a other password manager, and also let me know if you have any questions about 1Password I might be able to answer. Please share this video with someone who has problems remembering the passwords or just has 1 or 2 very unsafe passwords. Also, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this every day, and I will see you tomorrow with the next video. Bye.